What's up, YouTube? My name is Birdman778, and welcome to another Outriders Devastator video. Today, I'm bringing you a build that I think is pretty spicy. I found it through a friend, kind of adapted, changed a couple things on it, kind of the mechanics, but the overall skeleton of it came from a homie, Moxie. Check him out over at twitch.tv/Moxie, also youtube.com/Moxie. Super great content creator as well as homie to me. But he was working on a Devastator build. I was watching him one night in a stream, and I was like, God dang, this is pretty cool. But I think we could change up a couple things and make it kind of part of our own. So I'm going to show this off to you. But before we get into anything, I'll let you know I am streaming over on Twitch, more likely at the second, twitch.tv/Birdman778. Start every single day starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you're stopping on by, checking out all the meat that we do over my channel. Please sub over here on YouTube. We are exploding in growth over here, so any love you show is always appreciated. And find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Birdman778. Let's get right on into it. So like I mentioned before, kind of got this overall skeleton from the homie Moxie. I was watching him do a build with this, but he was doing some kind of cheeky things with it that kind of helped make it kind of a little bit more improved. But we're going to kind of bring that back a little bit, kind of keep it exactly what we have to do, not have to do any extra steps or anything like that to make this a little bit more overpowered, but have it be something that's kind of considered overpowered in its own right. First off, let's go over some weapons of what kind of make this build exactly what it needs to be, and we'll kind of give some suggestions on what you can change in and out. First and foremost, we have the Death Shield. Death Shield automatic shotgun, probably what could be argued being the best gun in the entire game. I know it's like, damn it, Bird, you're doing a video and you're just picking the best gun to do everything. Well, this shotgun actually is absolutely insane. First and foremost, as weapon life leech, so every time you're shooting, you're getting 18% extra healing from that. You're getting healing received an extra 18%, so that comes off that as well. And close range damage whenever you're in close range, that can be subjected depending on exactly what's in your skill tree, but you're getting extra 10% damage. Now this has Fortress on it. Receive up to 43% bonus based on your armor. Now this is going to be just damage in general, whether that's anomaly or firepower, weapon, all that fun stuff. This mod is absolutely key for a lot of builds, but it's also just crazy spicy for this one. But we combo it with an awesome link, awesome mod known as Ultimate Damage Link. Shots link up to 4 enemies, sharing 40% of their weapon damage dealt and 20% of their anomaly damage dealt, and has a 1-second cooldown. So pretty much anytime you're shooting somebody, is activating this Ultimate Damage Link. Unlike the regular tier 2 mod damage link, which only does up to 20%, this one's doubled. I would say if you aren't able to find this shotgun, something like the Anemo, or just a purple automatic shotgun that has at least regular damage link on it would suffice. I would say if you can, add Fortress onto it, but regular damage link and maybe comboing something like bone shrapnel, pretty much anything that's just going to add extra damage to your shots would be really key. I would say probably Killing Shot would probably be like one of the best things to add for like a purple. But again, for this shotgun specifically, this is probably one of the most power crept combos. It is amazing. I love it, and it really helps excel our build. Now, we complement it really well with a different shotgun, that being the Anomaly Effigy. This is a pump shotgun. Now, quick thing to let you know, you're like, wow, Bird, you're using 2 different shotguns. Don't you go through ammo really fast with that? Well, automatic shotguns have a different ammo pool than pump shotguns. Pump shotguns, if you were using the extra 50% of the mag, you can get up to 24 bullets total. Actually, technically 33 in a tire reservoir of ammo versus a automatic shotgun that can hold up to 75. So 16 reserve and 15 in the mag when you have the extra 50% mod, which is what we're going to be doing in our skill tree anyway, so you'll end up seeing that. But they do have different ammo types there, so you actually are able to really go into the Anomaly Effigy, use that a little bit. Let's say you burn all the ammo out of it, swap over the Death Shield, and know you still have a large amount of reserve shotgun ammo to use. Now, talking about the Effigy, this one has crit damage, obviously 30% extra crit damage on that. Status power, extra 30%. So this is actually a partial bleed build as well, so this is going to help really complement it. And then obviously another 10% close range damage. Now, The tier 3 mod for this gun is Concentration Blast. Killing shots cause enemies to explode, dealing 113,000 damage, multiplied by the maximum number of 6 enemies within a 5-meter radius around the original target. This is great for those mobbing scenarios where there's a bunch of like small rank and files or even like medium-sized mobs. All you have to do is really just shoot and kill one guy, and there's going to be this gigantic explosion that's going to take out a bunch of mobs around him as well. If not take them out, it's at least going to bring them down to 1 and give you that chance to then shoot that guy, and then they're going to explode. It's a constant, just like domino effect of explosions that are very effective, again, for that mobbing scenario. Now, I complement again that with Fortress because we had a death shield from before that we dismantled because I'm an idiot. But we luckily got lucky today and got this other death shield. Now, again, Fortress getting that extra 43% damage bonus. You're getting that on top of the crit. You're getting that on top of the regular base damage. You're getting that on top of everything. So this is a very great combo to have. Now, I don't normally talk about pistols, but I actually have Torment Agony on here. This one has armor piercing, status power, and close range damage. Has the Judgment Enforcer, but we're not really talking about that. We're talking about the tier 3 mod that I added onto it extra for fun to kind of help debuff enemies and help you out, especially on like bigger enemies, and that is a Weakness Trap. Now, Weakness Trap is a tier 3 mod that you're going to find on the Rarog's Gaze. Shots cause explosions, dealing 58,000 damage, inflicting weakness on enemies within a 5-meter radius around the target. This is, again, really great for just inflicting weakness, making sure that your enemies aren't able to do as much damage to you. So, again, I really like using this against like big behemoths, brood moms, anything like that, where I know, okay, they might smack me really hard, so I can at least inflict this and know that I kind of get a little bit of damage reduction passively from them not being able to do as much damage. So when it comes to our armor, first and foremost, we're going to use the Sergio's Beret. This one has bonus firepower, cooldown reduction, and status power. Pretty much on all your pieces of gear, you want to definitely have cooldown reduction and firepower ideally together. Status power is going to be really great because we're going to be inflicting bleed. I'll show that on that piece of armor that we're going to be having here in a second. But firepower and cooldown reduction are a definite. Now, Sergio obviously has that. If you find another piece of gear that also has that, I definitely recommend it. But the tier 3 mod on Sergio's Beret is what really helps out this build. Sharp Eye, killing enemies while aiming down sights grants you 16,000 firepower for 20 seconds and stacks up to 3 times. Now, this is obviously really great because it's going to constantly boost our firepower since we're always going to be killing enemies with this set. The set that we're also using is the statue set, well, I'll explain that in a second, but the boost that we're constantly getting from all these things together is really advantageous for this gun build. Now, we're also using Perseverance. Golem increases skills duration by 100%. I want to have Golem up as much as I humanly can because of the statue set that we're using. The longer I have it, the better, and it also combos with another mod that I'm going to talk about here in a moment. Next, we're using the statue's torso. Now, first off, let me talk about that set bonus for statue. Using either Tremor or Golem increases firepower by 100% and weapon leech by 100% for you and your teammates. Now, right now, the teammates part doesn't work, but we're at least getting that for ourselves. Now, this stacks by using both Tremor and Golem at the same time, which we do on this build. So, getting extra 200% firepower and weapon life leech when we're using both of them at the same time is so great because it's also going to combo well with the power of the stones ability that we do have on this torso. When the skill is active, allies are given a 40% weapon damage for 8 seconds. The wording on that's super awkward. You get the 40% as well, but obviously whenever you're playing in co-op, doing that is going to help out your teammates a lot. But Tremor being kind of a faster to activate skill than Golem, having that constantly active and constantly getting a 40% bonus on top of our 100% is really nice. And our second mod is Bleeding Impulse. Golem, when the skill is active, spawn radical impulses that inflict bleed on enemies within a 10-meter radius and frequency of 2 seconds. Now, I mentioned this is a partial bleed build, and it's because of this. This is going to combo really well with another mod we're going to have here in a second, but constantly inflicting bleed around our enemies around us is not only going to be great because it's going to work off that status power that we have on a couple of our weapons and our pieces of armor, but also we're going to get some more damage. Now, I'm going to talk about where that more damage is coming from here in a moment. Next, we're using Statue Legs. This one has max health, skill life leech, and cooldown reduction. Obviously, that max health is just trash. We don't want that, but we're kind of blocked into a wall here if we want this set bonus on what exactly we can. Now, you can do the kind of cheesiness where you swap in and off pieces to activate the statue set permanently. This is a bug. I really don't want to promote that because I don't think it's I don't think it's something that's like is able to have longevity. That's kind of why I'm doing this build as is right now, because I know that this is going to have longevity here in the future, versus changing off a little cheesy thing where I don't think it's going to really help you out in the future. Now, you can do it, more power to you. I could care less if you're doing it or not, but I would say for the longevity of the character, it's better to try to make a build like this where you know you're going to constantly have that, even though you might be capped in a couple of the shard areas. But again, this one is max health, skill life leech, and cooldown reduction. And the tier 3 mod is Golem Squad. Golem increases skill duration by 20% and casts a 25% shorter version on Golem on your allies. Now, we more like just that 20% for ourselves, but this has been really great for whenever I'm doing co-op with friends. They're able to also get that Golem on top of them and kind of get some damage reduction. And then the second mod we have is Vampiric Mag. Killing shots at enemies afflicted with bleed replenishes 50% of your ammo in your magazine. Now, again, we're using shotguns. We don't get all that much ammo reserve. So, again, that's kind of goes off this bleeding impulse where we're going to be able to inflict bleed on enemies and then make sure we're getting ammo right back in our mag. It is not hard to really kill with the Death Shield, and it's really not that hard to kill with the Effigy either. So we're going to be constantly keeping up our mags and really not going through much ammo at all. The only time you really notice yourself constantly reloading is against like bosses or something like that. But for the most part, just make sure you get a bleed on them, and then you're going to do more damage because the mod we're going to talk about here in a moment, but also because of just the amount of damage that you can do with something like the Death Shield. Next, I have the Gauntlets of the Cannonball. Now you might be like, Bird, you got a cannonball thing on? Oh my god, that's weird. Well, I have this on because it's got that bonus firepower, the cooldown reduction, the skill life leech. But it also has a base mod of Captain Hunter. Increase your damage against elites by 25%. Get super great against something like Brood Moms. Anything elite and above will be taking more damage, which that's going to be our biggest struggle for this build. And already having 25% against them is really nice. And then we also have Golem of Death. When the skill is active, extend its duration by 2 seconds for each enemy killed. We're able to constantly keep this up because of the amount of just damage we're able to do. I've gone entire just like 3-minute sections of not losing my Golem at all because of this Golem of Death modifier. Is super nice to have, especially on top of our Golem squad as well as our Perseverance to give us that extra duration. And then finally, the Statue's Feet. This one has max health, close range damage, and cooldown reduction. Obviously, hate that cooldown reduction being so low, but cooldown shards are really hard to find, and we really hate the max health there, but whatever. You get a little more health. This one also has Made of Marble on it. When the skill is active, incoming bullets have a 33% chance to ricochet back at enemies. This is just going to be really nice to just mitigate some damage away from you when you're in Golem, especially against humanoid enemies. And also know that they're going to be taking a little bit of damage as well, which is going to help you all around. But the other mod that we have on it, again, I keep talking about why we're going to be doing more damage to bleeding enemies. It's because of this mod, Tainted Blood. Now, this mod comes off of the Seismic Pants legendary set, but increased damage dealt to enemies afflicted with bleed by 25%. Really nice, again, because we're going to be constantly inflicting this around our enemies and just doing way more damage. For our skills. Now, I'm using Endless Mass, Golem, and Tremor. Obviously, Golem and Tremor we're using because it works well with our statue set, but I also have Endless Mass on. Now, you might be like, Bird, why are you using Endless Mass on this build? I watched that other dude's video, and he's using Earthquake. I watched that dude's video, and he's using Gravity Leap because he can heal off of it and stuff like that. Why are you using Endless Mass? Well, I like Endless Mass because, one, it's a kinetic skill, and it's going to work with a skill in our skill tree, but also the fact that I'm able to really group up enemies well with this and get them more inflicted with this damage link, and also inflict them with bleed better. It also really helps out with flying enemies whenever they come around. You can just inflict them real quick. You get a chance to run over, hit them real fast, and then move on from there. It inflicts bleed on those enemies as well, so that's just kind of taking a step out of the bleeding impulses for us. I think it's just a really nice skill for this all around because, again, it just helps us group, get into the thick of it real fast, and make sure that we're able to do enough damage to keep our own health up. Golem, though, again, you're going to get that 65% incoming damage against enemies, and then also Tremor, you're going to be healing and doing damage at the same time, and also, again, those are going to work with your statue set. Now, for our skill tree, we kind of are obviously going top tree. This is going to be the best option for you in total. I actually tried to go through middle tree with this one, but it just didn't work out really well. You didn't get the same kind of damage output that you could by just running complete and utter top tree. But first and foremost, we're going to get all 4 of these Havocs that give us 8% weapon damage right here, here, and here. Again, extra, a total of 32% weapon damage is very nice for us all around. Next, we're going to get all 3 armor breakers, which is going to give us extra 30% armor piercing here, here, and here. We're grabbing the shotgun master, increase your shotgun weapon damage by 15%, increase shotgun weapon drop chance by 20%, and again, it's going to kind of tell you exactly which ones that's going to work for, the pump shotguns or the automatic shotguns. We're grabbing 2 of these brawlers, increase your close range weapon damage by 15% here and here. Grabbing this bullseye, increase your critical damage by 20%. Grabbing heirloom armor. When an enemy dies at close range, 20% of their armor will be transferred to you for 10 seconds. This is obviously really great because we're constantly in that close range. It's going to work really well with the skill Stone Circle. Extend the distance considered to be close range by 4 meters. This is going to help out Devastator in general. We have a couple skills in our build already where it's like, okay, whatever in close range will be afflicted with this. This is going to extend that and just make sure that we have an even bigger kind of like circle around us to inflict enemies with. We're grabbing this 1 Colossus just to kind of move through this part and to make sure we get down to Stone Circle. Grabbing this 1 Dry the Mount, increase your weapon leech by 5%. We really don't need it, but we're more using it just to get into this Bounty Hunter. Increase damage against elites by 15%, and elites deal 50% less damage. We need less damage to us because, again, we can be kind of squishy sometimes with this build, and making sure that we do more damage is always advantageous. Ammo stockpile, increase your magazine size by 50%. This is really great just to make sure we have constant ammo in our mag. Bulletstorm, reload your weapon 20% faster. Extra reload, always great with me. Confrontation, enemies who damage you receive their physical damage reduced by 10% for 5 seconds. And the effect is doubled if you damage that enemy as well. Again, this is kind of one of those skills just to move through the tree, but at the same time, against melee enemies, something like that, this can be very helpful for you. And then finally, Altered Charge. When kinetic skill ends, increase your weapon damage by 70% for 10 seconds. This is going to work with Endless Mass. So we're going to get almost at 70%. It's not doing that 70% total damage, but this is a really great skill, especially against, again, being able to group up enemies, make sure we do more damage to them. Also against bigger enemies like birds, broodmother, stuff like that, to kind of like stop them for a second and make sure that we're going to be doing some extra damage. Thank you so much for stopping by this video. I hope you guys really liked it. I actually really glad I was able to kind of find a build from a homie of mine and be able to kind of shift it around a little bit, kind of make it my own in different ways. And I really like the fact that this is kind of a build that you don't have to like mess around with really to make it even stronger. It's kind of just strong on its own. And also the fact that we're able to change up some skills and again, just kind of make it our own. I really do like Endless Mass. I think having Gravity Leap would definitely be a really good one as well. I think if you do that though, you take off like Perseverance and use the Life Absorber with Gravity Leap so you can get some extra health whenever you hit enemies. But obviously that's going to help out Altered Charge as well, give you some extra damage. But regardless, I think this is a super solid build. I love getting to finally use a Death Shield. I love this build. It's amazing. It's fun. But check out all these builds over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Birdman778. Check out my other YouTube videos covering my other builds. And follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Birdman778. I hope you guys have a great night, day, or whatever it may be.